Hey everybody, this is Too Tall. So I've been getting a lot of questions recently about how I film my videos, what cameras I use, and how I mount them to everything that I have. So first let me just say, if you're gonna start filming paintball, like to put on YouTube and things like that, first it gets really expensive. Like paintball is already expensive, but it's gonna be even more expensive if you choose to film yourself. And two, um, really, uh, paintball on YouTube has only recently stepped up its game. And what I mean by that is, before you had big paintball YouTubers like Alabaster Slim and the Wolfston and things like that, you had people that played airsoft, like Desert Fox Airsoft and Level Cap. I'm I don't like Level Cap, but anyway, they the thing that set them apart was they used two or three different cameras to really show everything that they were doing when they were playing airsoft. They had a GoPro on top of their head. And then they had two contours. It was mainly contours. Um, they would have one facing towards them on their gun, so you would be able to see what they were doing when they were reloading and things like that. And then they would have one with a zoom lens that would be facing wherever their gun was facing, so that when they fired, you could see where the BBs were going. Alabaster Slim and the Wolfston have only recently even put gun cams on their YouTube videos, and understandably so. I mean, it's expensive, and from what I know, YouTube doesn't pay well. So, with that being said, if you're going to start filming paintball videos, you need more than one camera for it to be a good experience. You can get away with just using a GoPro, but typically you have to have a very close quarters field for that. And if you look at Alabaster Slim's channel, and I'm not hating on him at all, but when he used to play at his CQB field and he just used a GoPro, it was fine. Perfectly fine. They were great videos because it was so tight and so close quarters, you could still see everything that was going on with just one camera. But when that field closed down and he had to go to a lot of outdoor fields where he only had his GoPro, you couldn't tell what was going on. It dramatically reduced, in my opinion, the quality of his videos because he didn't have a zoom camera or any other camera besides a GoPro. So with that being said, you need more than one camera, in my opinion, and don't cheap out on them. You can find cameras for cheap, but don't be spending like 30-40 bucks on a camera. You'll regret it. So what I use to film is I have this Unanistine Dye i4 mask mount that I can put my GoPro in. I don't have it in there right now because that's what I'm using to film. I use 1080p 60 frames a second settings for a normal recreational day of paintball. If I'm going to a big game, I use 720 and depending 30 or 60 frames a second. So with this excuse me, with this mount though, you have to, what I did was I used pennies and dimes to actually stabilize the mount, because otherwise it would wiggle back and forth with the GoPro whenever I was running, and that was really annoying. So just something to be in mind of. It's not a perfect mount, but it's a damn good one. Now, my more recent additions, and this is all mounted on a Tippmann TIPX. If you want more info about it, just comment down below and I'll do my best to describe everything on it. But for the zoom camera, I have a ShotTrack HD, which is a really simple camera, shoots in 1080p 30 frames a second only, and it has built-in 5x optical zoom. It's rail mounted and you just flick a switch, it turns on, it starts recording. Super simple, and that's all you need for a zoom camera. This costs about $100 right now, which is a steal for a zoom camera. The downside is if you're playing with a hopper, this is rail mounted and rail mounted only. As far as I know, there are no options to mount it any other way than with a Picatinny rail. So it's really for a mag fed only or milsim type only style of marker. For my face camera, the camera that's pointing towards me, I have a Contour Roam 2, which I think I got for about $80. There was a sale on Amazon. It's a good camera. I do not know how to work the settings on it at all. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I just don't really have the time. Camera recommendations. So obviously a GoPro Hero 3 or above for your head. You can probably find that for about $200. For a face camera or a barrel cam, get a Mobius camera. They're $80. They're shooting 1080p 60 frames a second. They're tiny cameras. And they work fantastic. There's a guy on YouTube. He does airsoft, but his name is Brain Exploder. And he is all about cameras. I think he plays with like 4 or 5 different cameras. One on his head, 2 on his gun, and then 1 or 2 on his shoulders, like a third person view. It's pretty crazy. But what he mainly uses are Mobius cameras because they're so cheap and they're so effective. You can find them on Amazon, you can find them on eBay, they're everywhere. And you can there's a variety of different ways to mount them. So if you're playing hopper fed or mag fed, there's a way that you can mount them to your gun or to your mask or whatever. So those would be my recommendations. Be forewarned, when you start filming in Paintball, it doesn't take away from your enjoyment of it at all. It actually adds to it, but at the same time, if one of your cameras dies, it's probably going to be a bit of a drag on your day, because when you start capturing all these moments that you're playing in Paintball, you get really bummed if you have a really good game and you can't get any of it on video. So that's just my 2 cents. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. I'll see you later.